show you how easy it is to work with emails on testRigor, and for that we will test Twitter. I have created already a test suite for twitter.com, and let's start the recording, and let's go ahead and sign up. So I create something, provide, I'll start using email. It doesn't matter what email we're going to use, we're going to change it anyway. And let's create some dates. Very sorry, Twitter, that we're using that, but users data, fine. Sign up. Okay, and here we would need a verification code which had been sent to this email, and then we will proceed. Well, clearly we can't proceed now because we don't have the code. Okay, let's stop the recording, and we will do the rest later. Here we need to call it sign up with email. All right, so testRigor is a system which helps you to create an executable specification. It for some reason detected when logged in. This is not true in this particular case, so I'll remove that. And here here this is what we will do in here. Okay, so first of all we need of course unique numbers, and we don't care about this selector 1 to 3. We need month, this is day, and this is, I'm sure, is a year. testRigor can automatically detect visible text that look like labels, and it will use those to identify the controls in there. All right. Okay, so because it detects a button after the click, it did this, but what we care about is other way around. Okay, so this looks like the steps, original steps. However, that's not gonna work because the email needs to be unique, and we need to be able to use that email. That's very easy. We'll click on documentation in here, and we have this generate commands. Let's generate the name. This is the first command, and here we can just copy paste in our case, and paste in here, and we were entering the name, so it would just like map right away. And the same thing is for email. We already have an example for email as well. Just can copy paste the email. All right. Okay, so as you can see here, we entered email. When we entered birth date, click next, sign up, enter below to verify. And now we need to validate that email had been received, right? So when we generated the email, we generated this unique email in this specific testRigor domain. We entered it to email, and we saved it as a new email. This is what we'll be using. It's the name of this variable. And we'll write exactly like that. Check if email to stored value was received. And we'll see what's in the email. All right, so we're creating this new test case in this test suite. Click add and let's switch. So this is our test suite, and this is our test case in here. And as I was mentioning, testRigor is executable specification engine, so it will execute basically steps as you tell it to. In this case, click sign up and click sign up in here. Then it enters the data and says I want to use email. Alright, so we didn't need to click enter to verify, but we'll remove it later. And as you can see, month, day, and year were entered before we clicked the next. Here's our unique name, here's our unique email, which had been generated. And of course, you can view the generated data in here. As says, this email has been generated as such if you really need that. Okay. So next, what system is doing is it waits until it receives email to that email which we have previously generated as a unique email. This approach with unique emails is exactly what helps our customers to verify their sign-up flows. And sure enough, we got this email, and this is the code. And let's extract the code and then use it to complete the registration. So the code is 6 digits. There are several different ways how we can extract the code. We can basically say like text below verification code, or we can provide regex matching with text. Let's probably do text below verification code, is more readable. And then we would need to enter it into field which is called verification code yet again. All right. That is easy. Okay, so if you remember, we don't need to click this. After we checked the email, we need to grab value from text below verification code. So here, when I'm saying text, it's basically specifies that it is specifically a text, not something clickable like a button, and not input element like input or drop down or what have you. And we get it and save it as code, for example. And then we need to switch to the original tab. Switch to tab 1 default, I think. Switch to tab default, and then we need to enter the code and probably click next, I believe. So enter stored value code into verification code, and click, I think it's next. All right, so what did we do in here? After sign up, it as you noticed, it waits until email is received and renders the email. When it will get the verification code from there, save it as a variable code, then we'll switch to default tab, I mean the original one where we started our tests. Then we enter this stored value into verification code input, and then we click next. Okay. And another point which I would like to make in here is that testRigor had been designed to be as stable as it's technically possible, and we achieve it largely because it is a specification based and specification from end user perspective. So as you can see, click sign up will actually work regardless of what happens with HTML in here, and it will just find the button which says sign up and click on this sign up. Okay, so what did we do? We entered the data, entered the date, clicked next, and we clicked sign up. Okay, that is great. Okay, so next we are waiting until email is received. So therefore, system is waiting. Email, unlike pages, email might take a little bit of time to be delivered. So that is expected, that it will take a little bit longer than immediately. Drum roll. And then once email is delivered, we will treat that email as if it's a page, and we will start working with that email. So we will grab the verification code, then return to original tab. All right, so this is the email up, and it looks like it was wrong verification code in there. As you can see, verification code is also in the subject, and therefore this is a wrong text. Yeah, so I guess what we actually meant is please enter this verification code. How about we say this verification code next time, because it's clearly going to fail in this case. As you can see, you get this date in here because the date is what's below this one. But if you say this verification code, it should grab us as the right one. I'll cancel that. Alternative approach would have been to say, hey, grab this using regex, and you can say like regex with non-capturing group saying is your Twitter verification code, but is this a little bit more complex, harder for people to understand. That's why we'll just stick with the word this. Just make it very simple. All right, update and retest. Another thing which I want to point out is that it is abundantly clear and easy to understand what exactly gone wrong, because not only you see the screenshot, but the system will also highlight for you where is exactly this relative location and what exactly is capturing. Okay, so we are filling up our form, and every single time, as remember, we generate unique name and unique email. Now we click sign up. As you can see here, this is a unique name and unique email. Again, this email is unique for this specific test run. Every single time you'll run this test, it will generate unique email for you. This is what empowers our customers to be able to actually easily test sign up flow. All right, so this birthday was fixed. We clicked sign up, and now system waits until email is actually there. How is that possible? It's because we run this testRigor-mail.com domain. This is a real email domain. We have like POP3 SMTP servers, and therefore we are receiving a real email for this email, and then this is exactly what we are validating, that this email was received. And while we are validating it, we actually pulling this actual email from email server for that unique email and rendering it here. Okay, so there it goes. So as you can see, this verification code was related to this text, and this is what it is below. And let's see, what did we get? And we got our code correctly. This is what we need. And by the way, after we clicked or entered verification code, the next is next. The next button is next. Okay. Drum roll. See what didn't work this time. Usually system takes a little bit longer if it can't find something on the screen. Because the way system operates is that it mimics. Okay, so there we go. It didn't switch to the right tab. Okay, so let's check the documentation. Did I do it the right way? Search for tab. Okay, switch to tab something 1. Okay, switch to tab 1 is this is what we need. Switch to tab 1. There we go. So basically, as you have seen, what was happening is that it stayed in the same tab, because default apparently is the current tab, and basically it was waiting until this verification code input will be available on a screen to be able to enter the code, and it wasn't there until the timeout, and therefore it failed. And that's why it took a little bit of time to fail, is because when testRigor performs the steps from end user's perspective, it emulates how you as a human would do that, and you would perform the action, and you will wait until elements are there, and this is exactly what testRigor is doing as well. And then it will actually use that element which appeared on the screen once it has appeared, and as soon as it has appeared. This is literally exactly what testRigor does as well. And the same thing with emails as well. So it generated a unique email. Let's see. Like see, this is yet another new unique email in here, and it will wait until email had been received. It's just as if you let's say go to your email client and will wait until you got this email, and then it will actually render the email emulating you interacting with the email. Then we'll get the code, then we will switch to the original page, and we'll enter the code and we'll proceed. Okay, so we are getting the code in here. There we go. The switch was successful this time, and as you can see, it entered the code. Click next, and what was the next step? You need a password, so we need to set up a password, but that's already beyond this demo. So what we wanted to demonstrate in here is that it is very easy to test sign-up flow with testRigor. So you can generate unique name and email every single time you run the test, it will render your email for you as if it's a page, so you can use all testRigor features to work with that email. And testRigor features reflect natural language, so how you would express it. We will support basically anything you can express, and this in particular will allow you to extract this code from this email and then get back to the page, enter this code, and proceed. So this approach will help you to test your sign-up flows, as well as two-factor authentication. And testRigor supports both email and text messages. You can also do the same thing with text messages to validate your two-factor verification. At any point, thank you very much for watching, and thank you for watching this video. Bye-bye.